it seemed to me that your leaning was that men who are attracted to women with little or no body hair, that's some sort of pathology, or men who prefer women who, for example, shave down there, that is maybe weird. Is that your,
I did bring that up. I'm saying that societally, like, that's obviously what it is. Like,
right. So what's the implication on the individual level in terms of your judgment of men who have this preference?
I wouldn't say I would give like a strict, like, straight up, like, that's my judgment. I'm just saying in society,
well,
like,
that's
what we that's what they value.
You said it was infantilizing. Like they want infants. Is that
infantilizing?
They want infants. Is that kind of what you're
like
getting
younger,
at? That they're attracted to children. That they're PDF.
That's the definition of it.
Yeah, but is that essentially what your suggestion is? That men who are attracted to women with little or no body hair, or who shave their hair, it's really just these are terrible men who are PDF
No, I'm
files.
not saying that. I'm not saying that straight up. I'm saying that it could be subconscious because it is through society. Like, it's a system.
Subconsciously what? That they're attracted to?
It could be a subconscious thing. Like, just because you don't like hair doesn't mean
doesn't
necessarily correlate.
So subconsciously, this is what he's trying to get at. I'm trying to figure this out too. Are you saying that the correlate of hairless they're associating with child?
You mean like?
I would say kind of that.
What,
you're
I don't
I know,
but
let's let her say.
I don't understand the question, really. You mean like
that you're associating like women with like who are shaved give like a child like
I'm saying society.
Yeah,
standards.
but like yeah.
Okay. So do you think that men are attracted to women who are hairless because they're infantilizing and giving them a childlike persona?
I'm saying it's pushed on by society to like younger women. I'm saying that it's something that's been instilled kind of by society.
Because younger women can have children, right?
I mean, that could be part of some of.
Yeah, but I think that she's addressing
so let me ask you a question. Do you believe that evolution is a fact?
Is a factor in it?
Is evolution a fact?
Yeah, for sure.
Then what is the primary edict?
Of like valuing youth?
No, what is the primary edict of evolution? It's to replicate, right?
Evolve?
Yeah, but I think it's more
complex. Hang on, no. It's to replicate. You can't evolve if you don't reproduce, can you?
Okay, there's two things can be true at once.
That's true, but with absent reproduction, there is no evolution. So the primary edict of evolution is reproduction, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so if that is true, which tier of women are going to be able to reproduce the best? Women in their 20s, women in their 30s, or women in their 40s?
Obviously, it's going to be women in their 20s. That's
right. So then evolutionarily, why wouldn't males be more attracted to the women who are going to reproduce the most?
But I'm saying I don't think it's evolutionarily.
You still won't answer. I don't mind if you qualify and then tell me where I'm wrong or right or this or that, but I would appreciate if you would actually answer the question I ask, and I'll do you the same service. So my question is, if the women in their 20s produce the most children, wouldn't it follow logically that men would be attracted to women in their 20s as they're the ones who reproduce the most?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
But
so then I don't understand how this is associated with infantilization or PDF or any. I don't understand the association.
Because I think what she's saying is like we've moved on from just viewing people as like reproduction objects, and so there's like more that goes into it.
What do you mean we've moved on from it?
Like
what
are we even talking about? Like she's bringing. Like,
I'm sorry. How do you figure that we've moved on from reproduction?
No, that's not what I said or meant. Even if that's how it came across, I'm talking
about.
Okay,
well,
like,
I'm listening.
When we're talking about like evolution and the primary goal is to like keep creating and blah blah blah, so like you're talking about that, yes, like that would make men like more attracted to younger women who are more fertile. I get that, but she's trying to bring a different like context to that. Like, she's not just saying like this is like an evolutionary factor. Like, she's
I
trying
agree.
to bring a different
and
depth
I'll
to
even
it.
steel man it to make sure that you guys know that I understand what she's saying. She's saying that socially and societally, it is pushed upon men to be attracted to younger women. I understand the argument. What I'm saying, though, is that it's actually the inverse. That from your worldview, would be the evolutionary need to reproduce, which informs society, not society, which is informing you to be attracted to these younger women. That would be my counter. And so what I'm looking for is an argument to that. How would that be
Okay,
wrong?
That makes more sense.
So that's kind of like, then why would it be pushed upon in the last like 30 years to be to
You
like,
think that
yeah,
it's only pushed
it
upon
is-
in the last
here's the
30
thing,
years
yeah,
that
it
older
is
men like to
valuing
fuck
youth.
young hot women? Really?
It is valuing youth, right?
Because why? Why are they valuing youth?
You're saying it's because of
Evolution.
Reproduction.
Design.
What else would it be?
the thing
If
is
men want to have sex with younger women, why are they wanting to have sex with them? What would be the mechanism from which informs them to have sex with younger women? What would that be?
I don't think it's to reproduce. You're trying to like feed me an answer that I'm not like that's not my answer. So I'm not
Well, then
that's
what is
not
your
what I'm
answer?
giving you. The thing, it's not some weird subconscious like reproduce type shit. Like
I don't think it's subconscious. I think
you
that
think
it's
it's totally
conscious. I think that
conscious?
men will tell you, I want to fuck young hot women. And I think the reason that they want to fuck young hot women is because young hot women have lots of babies, and so that's why they're attracted to them.
But why?
Otherwise, why would they be
Why
attracted
do
to
the
them?
studies say that they end up dating the women around their age,
Oh
though?
my God, we showed you the studies.
Because of the pool in which is available to them.
Let me ask you a
However,
question.
when the pool expands and they can choose younger women,
They want
they
money.
do.
Yeah.
They do.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think women are attracted to men who have lots of money?
Wouldn't it depend? It would.
Okay, let
depend.
me ask you a question. Why is it then, if women actually wanted to date billionaires, well, why is it that they end up dating people kind of generally speaking in their socioeconomic range?
It's proximity. Like you're around those people.
Right. Okay. But if they could date a billionaire, would they?
I mean, wouldn't everyone?
Well, but personality
No.
would also be like a factor in everything.
It would be a
there's a lot of
factor, but wouldn't
factors
you
that go
like
into it, but
rather go for
they-
someone who had more money than like?
Right, but you're saying, okay,
More-
well, why
there's more
aren't
to
these
provide
men,
for.
because what if, like, despite men's desires, if you're a 50-year-old man, the reality is most 20-year-old women don't want to date 50-year-old men. Unless he's like really maintained his looks and he's bringing status or something else to the table. You disagree?
Oh yeah, I would date a 50-year-old man in
Yeah.
a heartbeat.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But
I love that for you.
Even older.
the reality is,
60
just
plus.
because you want something doesn't mean you can get it.
But
So if they could, though, if 50-year-old men, regardless of their shortcomings, could be dating 20-year-old baddies, they would.
They
I don't
probably
agree.
would. I don't know what we're.
I just don't
debating.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I
fully
just
agree
don't
with
agree
that.
with your statement, and you're like trying to force me to like agree with something that I don't agree with. And I'm
I
just
think
gonna say
it-
you don't have to
respectfully
agree with
no.
it. I mean, you can be delusional about it, but the reality
Well,
is...
you can be delusional too.
Okay,
Like just like
this
I
is
am.
like if I were to make your same sort of position here. If I were to say, if you were to sit there and tell me, yeah, Brian, women are attracted to billionaires. And I said, well, that's really not true. I just don't agree.
That doesn't make it less true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's still true, right? So you girls that don't think that that's like a thing or whatever, by the time you're my age, you will believe what he just said about if the men could pick, if they could get the woman that's 20, they would. Absolutely.
I'd like to see like the cold hard facts on that.
Just
I
live
mean,
long
we
enough
showed
and you
you
will.
That wasn't the facts. That was the
I
dating.
am not trying
was
to
a-
be
No,
disrespectful.
You
was
showed me a
that
picture of
data.
Tim, like, from Spider-Man
No,
or
no,
something.
no. The
What?
data that showed that.
Did you not see
as
the
men-
data
chart.
that showed men
Yeah,
as they
attractive,
age?
who they saw attractive, not
Attractive.
dating.
Is
They
that
didn't
how you
have
feel
So
about your
But they-
husband?
besides physical appearance, can you articulate
Is that
to
how
me?
you feel about your husband? Like he would just leave you for someone that's younger?
No, he wouldn't
He had
leave me
more
for
money.
someone that's younger. No, but most men would, if they had the preference between an older woman and a younger woman, like from scratch, they would pick the younger woman to be
That's
more.
just shallow.
Well, isn't that like
No,
values?
let me finish.
though?
Let me finish what I was saying. Let me finish what I was saying. They would pick the younger woman as being more attractive. It doesn't mean that that's who they want for a life
For
partner.
like 5 days.
That,
and then
yeah.
they're gone.
Well, it doesn't mean that that's who they want for a life partner. And
would
it's
say
funny.
that
Y'all really
your
think
life
y'all
partner to
like?
be attractive.
Hold on, I'll just give you anecdotal experience from myself. I'm 35. Do you think that women my age are offering like orders of magnitude more in terms of their behavior and demeanor and personality than a 25-year-old?
What is the difference to you?
What?
What is
Why
better
don't you
for
answer
you?
my question before asking me a question?
I'm saying yes, 35 to me personally,
You think
my values,
35-year-old
yes.
women across the board are offering more to me in terms of their personality and their behavior and how they conduct themselves than a 25-year-old?
Maybe not
I would
you,
say
but
yes to
How?
me.
Tell me how.
Okay, this is how. Ready?
I'm ready.
So, 35 years old, you have gone through and experienced different things that make you understand like who you are and what you value. And also you know what you want. When you're 25, you don't even necessarily know who you are. And you're
The
and not only
prefrontal
that,
cortex is
you know
fully
why?
developed at 25.
Just barely. Like it
No,
just
it's fully
sealed
developed.
off.
It's fully
But-
developed.
Okay, ready? So
Yeah, I'm ready.
25, right?
Yep.
You haven't been through as much experience as
I
that
don't-
35, right?
We don't. Okay, hold on.
Okay, can you follow that though?
Follow what?
Can you follow what I'm
yes,
saying?
I absolutely follow what you're saying, but I'm sitting here as a man telling you, I don't, and most
But
men
what's the
don't
difference for
give
you?
a
Can you answer
fuck.
that question?
Most men don't give a fuck about your experiences, most of which involve trauma and baggage. You've got more dick, you've been through more dick, you fucked more guys, you have more bodies.
Can you let
Maybe you
wait,
picked
no,
up
no,
a
no,
couple
no.
STDs.
Can you let me
Brian,
whoa, can you let me
I'm
get there for a sec? Can you let me respond?
I just articulate the actual experience that would make me more attracted to a girl.
Can I respond?
What's the experience?
Okay, here's the thing, ready? So the fact that you're saying that right now is so fucking cringe and weird.
How-
The
why
fact
is
that
it
you're saying
cringe?
when you're 25, you're more attracted to that person because of why? Can you give me a reason why?
Because you want to have sex with them.
So that's it.
Yeah.
No, there's more
that
it?
reasons.
Is that your
I
answer?
can-
No. Listen. Yes, the thing is what Brian is saying is that men value the experiences of women less than they value their physical characteristics. Now, that can grow. That can grow over time where you value them for other things other than just their physical beauty. But it seems apparent to me, and it's apparent according to this study that I have pulled up in front of me, which says that men, so when they're investigating the age span, women reported a narrow age range than men, and women tended to prefer slightly older men. Makes sense. We also show that men's age range widens as they get older, meaning they still have a preference towards younger women. Doesn't mean they can get them, but they still have a preference. Why? Now, this may come as news to you. Perhaps your prefrontal cortex is not completely developed yet, but the gal next to you is going to tell you the same thing that I am. It's the same thing that she knows. Men like to fuck young, hot women. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
So
No, I'm right.
what is the reason for that? What is the reason then?
Hold on.
What do you think?
Because of
it's
so the
called-
reason from your worldview would be due to reproduction.
Well,
Younger
I have
women
a lot
have
of
more
guy
babies.
friends, and thank you, Andrew. A lot of guy
Final
friends.
Wave Feminism donated $200.
They don't want all the
I'm
baggage.
39.
They don't want
millionaire.
all the
Don't date
the older
women
women
over
that
30.
have
Hold on,
married.
It's nature. Men want a family, not a partner. Sex equals children. Even the stripper admitted dating is harder 30 plus as a woman.
Did she?
She did, but
Wait,
she was
so
saying
hold on. Let's
different
get into
context.
this. So, okay. First off, it's not clear. Like, do you think that all women at 25, their personalities just like dog shit, they're terrible human beings, and then at 35, they're magically the best partners ever, and they treat you the best?
No, you're going to two extremes right now. I never said that.
I'm actually
You're putting that in my
I've
mouth.
actually experienced is as women get older, they tend to get actually more malevolent as they get older.
And you're not.
Wrong women.
And are you
What?
not? Like, because you look
if a
pretty
woman-
malevolent
that's-
right now.
Sure, if a woman doesn't
For
want to
being
date
real.
me because I'm more jaded
What?
and I've had more experiences,
Wait,
I
how
don't
does
give
he
a
look
fuck.
malevolent?
He's like, really? All right, let's roll it
Yeah,
back.
really.
Roll the clips back.
Yeah, well, let's roll it back. You tell me why. How does Brian look malevolent? He's having a straight-up conversation with
Okay.
you where he's explaining
we can be
the
delusional,
worldview
so.
paradigm differential.
What-
How
okay.
would that be malevolent?
He's literally like, who would want to date him then? Like,
What
let's
does
be
that have-
real. He's being like so bitter about this.
Bitter about what?
Like,
How am I
why
being
would a
bitter?
girl that age want to date you then?
What?
Because she wants his resources.
I'm about to leave because this is really dumb.
What's that? You're
I
about
don't
to
know.
leave. Why?
No, your conversation you're having, first of all, the way that
It's dumb?
you're speaking
How am
about
I-
women. No, I didn't
how
say
am I
I didn't
speaking?
say the conversation.
Okay,
I
go
said
ahead.
This
Go ahead.
is dumb.
Make
I
your
didn't
point.
say that.
Yeah, this is dumb. Okay, go ahead. Make your point.
I mean, the way you're talking about women in their 30s is absolutely disgusting.
What
Yeah,
did I
it's,
say?
like,
No, tell me
horrid.
specifically what I
Like,
said.
they have baggage, they have high, I'm sorry. They have baggage, they have high bodies. Like, you're making these blanket general statements about women that's absolutely disgusting.
And we're
I
all
do
gonna
not
be
want to
30
be
in, like,
That's a
5
fair,
years
hang
and
on,
call
that's
you
a
like
totally
that.
fair criticism.
That's disgusting
Totally
to
fair,
me.
fair
I'm gonna be
criticism.
honest
So
with
let
you
me just
right
ask
now.
you.
I
if
wish you
this is
love,
way
light, and
off base-
healing. I'm about to leave because I don't want to be around you.
Hang on. Before you leave, can I just I just want to ask you one question. And we'll just see if this logically, I'm just going to test your logic really quick. Do you think that women in their 20s generally have less baggage than women in their 30s? Yes or no?
Do
Generally.
I think women in their 20s have less baggage in their 30s? I think it depends on the woman because I feel in my heart. Generally, I don't. It's possible, yes, but what I want to say.
Yeah, what do you
Brian,
think
really
though?
fast,
Do you think that
really
generally women who are in their 30s have more baggage than women in their
You
20s?
say
Hold on.
baggage.
Wait. Before you
Can
say
I
your
talk?
thing, hold on. Before you
Can
say
I
your
talk?
thing, let me actually just not make this a gendered thing. Men, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, as you get older, you go through more experiences. And some of those are positive experiences, some of those are negative experiences. So both men and women accrue trauma and baggage as they age. In
that
recent
makes sense.
years, I've dealt with very difficult things that I didn't deal with a while back. It's just the reality of being older. So I'm straight. I date women. So I'm gendering it because, yes, I'd rather date somebody who's perhaps in their, a younger woman who's maybe 25, for example. Don't get me wrong. I find women who are in their 30s attractive. In fact, I've dated women in their 40s. I've dated women older than me. So it's not like I'm exclusively going after like college girls. I'm not. But what I am saying is that if they want to date me and I want to date them, I don't see any problem with dating a 25-year-old.
Okay, yeah, I don't see a problem dating 20.
that's
I'm with
fine.
a 38-year-old.
But-
bro. Like, I don't
But
see a problem
I'm
with
just,
that.
you're saying I'm using these generalizations. I mean, we are talking about generalizations here. Obviously, there's women in their 30s who are virgins. But, I mean, the reality is a woman
Not
who's...
many.
Not many. So
Yeah.
you're upset about me. It's disgusting that I'm talking about body count. Like, realistically speaking, a woman at 35 is going to have more bodies than however many bodies she had at 25.
But you're valuing
Because
a
of body
woman
count.
because of her body count, her baggage.
But what's wrong with that?
But what
I'm not
kinda
allowed.
see it-
Hold on. I'm
So
not.
should you be able to date no one? Who are you dating then?
How
It's
is that
the
relevant?
Same
No, I'm
logic.
not.
How is that relevant?
Who are you
What if I
dating?
told you I was dating a 19-year-old?
That'd be kind of weird.
How?
Yeah.
Why
I
would
don't
that?
know.
Well,
She
okay.
With the
Turned
same logic, who would
19,
want to
that's a
date you
little
then?
What are you
Let's put that same logic on
Nobody
you.
has to date me.
I know, but I'm
Nobody
like,
has to
use
date
that
me.
logic on yourself though. Like, who would want to date you then?
People who are women who are
Because
interested
you're
in
saying like
resources.
people that are younger are better. So
I'm
then
talking
the pool
about
is
me.
smaller for you
but
too. then.
okay, but I'm talking about me. These are people who I'm choosing to date or not to date. So if a woman doesn't want to, and first off, actually, yes, plenty of women don't want to date me because of this podcast. That's totally fine. I don't object to it at all. If you don't like my viewpoints on political things or my viewpoints on gender dynamics, you don't want to date me, don't care. That's fine.
Okay, well, I was saying before that.
Go ahead.
So in terms, I think you're allowed to have your personal preference. I'm sorry, I came off the wrong way when I stated that.
Yeah, you said you felt disgusted.
Okay.
Because
No, but I was
don't
disgusted about this.
About the body count thing?
No, about
that's what you said, though.
That's a part
one
of
of
it,
the
but she has more to
aspects
say.
of
Okay, one
the
of the
general
aspects.
essence
Okay, go ahead.
of what I was saying.
Sure.
I was disgusted in the way in which you were. So number one, you changed after. I understand you were focusing your conversation directed exactly at women and women only, and it sounded like. But yes, you changed after, so you did change it. That's what I'm saying now. You were generalizing it towards all women only, and not like men, or on the other hand, where.
Well, I do want to qualify that I don't share Brian's opinion on this. I do think that men, as they get older, do have less baggage than women generally.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that it's even, Stephen. And I do think that generally speaking, if we're generalizing again, men tend to have less baggage in their 30s and 40s, far less, in fact, because they become much more resource rich. And as you know, money can solve a lot of problems.
This is a meme.
And so I do think
serious
that they
right
end
now.
up with less baggage than women. I do.
I personally think for me and I'm going to say this word again that you guys don't like, but in the sphere of consciousness that I focus on, the people that I'm surrounded by it's like almost like a different reality. I mean, it's honestly insane.
You mean like they don't care if a woman's had gangbangs and slept with like 30,
No,
40,
I'm not
50,
talking
60,
about
100
that.
dudes?
I'm not talking about that.
Well,
I'm talking about
That's such a
being
wild
able
example.
when it comes to perceived
rare.
baggage. I'm saying the ability as you grow as a human in age, physical
Wait,
age,
let me-
that you grow within your being.
Well, so let me ask you a question, right? So you mentioned body count, or you mentioned you thought my view was disgusting for a couple reasons. One, that I judge women, I would perhaps not date a woman because of her body count and because of her baggage. If I didn't want to date a woman because she stubbed her toe once and she yelped out, what would actually be wrong with that? Like, make an actual argument. Make an actual argument why perhaps you find that absurd, but make an actual argument for why it would be wrong and disgusting for me to not want to date a woman who once stubbed her toe.
I mean, if that's
And
what
she
you
has
wanna
trauma
do.
and baggage.
Yeah,
from
everybody's got their personal
Yeah,
preferences.
if that's what you want
But
to
so
do.
okay, so is it
can still
wrong?
say something
But
about
is
it.
it
That's still
why
weird.
is it then? I mean, that was an extreme example. Why is it disgusting for me to disregard a woman in terms of my dating prospects because she has baggage?
No, I understand what you're saying. What I said in terms of disgusting is that you were focusing on specifically women and not as a general statement for women and men. But
Well,
then
I'm
you
straight.
changed it.
I only date women.
No, but then you changed it. And I said, okay, this was.
Yeah, you did change
Well, the
it.
only
You changed
reason
it.
What did
the
I
only
change? What did I
reason that he
change?
changed
You
it was
said
to say.
But I don't even. Well, maybe
Because
you
he
can
was
help me
acting
out
like it
here,
was
'cause I
just
don't actually
women.
understand.
Yeah,
now. I
he-
thought I
he
was
was
tracking
just
with
acting
you,
like it was
but
just
now
women,
I
and then he changed
actually don't
No, he-
understand.
he
Maybe you can help me out.
He was only
Wait,
changing.
one
If
second,
you
one second, Andrew.
donated $200, my P3N1S finds itself confused by
Good.
this paradox. Younger women should have less baggage, but these chicks are so toxic, I suddenly find myself extremely attracted to slightly
yeah.
older Texans.
Good.
Hey, don't forget Dolphin. Oh, she's gone. She's not.
Dolphin from
She's
Texas,
coming
though?
back. She's coming back.
Maybe you can help me out here,
Got it right here
because
for ya.
I was tracking everything you were saying.
No, I was
and
saying-
it was making sense. Let me just ask
Whatever
a question.
bro donated $200. Obviously women don't only look for money, but money is important. Ladies may not like it, but you exist in it. You can push forward to change, but also have to exist and live with what's now.
All right. Thank you, whatever, bro. Thank you, Nickelodeon. Go ahead, Andrew.
I don't actually understand what the problem is if you're having a conversation, you're focusing on just generalizations for women only, and you're not bringing up men. I actually don't even know why that's a problem.
Because it works both ways for men and women. That statement.
Yeah, right. But if the topic, like if you're about dogs,
Oh,
if we're having a conversation about dogs, and I say, okay, we're going back and forth about all the problems that dogs have and this and that, would you then say, but this also applies to cats, and it offends me that we're not bringing up cats as well as dogs. That doesn't make any actual sense to me.
But the thing was that we weren't talking about specifically
That's
women.
different.
We were
Wait,
just
but
talking
also
about
though,
dating in general. Wait,
Brian
But that's
does
what your
that.
objection was that
He
you were
literally
only, he was
does
only
that,
talking
though.
about women.
But he does that too.
But
Like
we
he'll
were
bring up the
talking
most
about dating in,
outlandish
okay, wait,
examples.
wait. But we were talking about dating in general. We weren't talking about specifically women. He was specifically talking about women, but the overall arching topic we were talking about was dating in general. It was not focused specifically on women until Brian made it that way.
Well,
Yeah,
And
right.
that's when-
But that's
and
my whole
that's what I
point, right?
said.
I get that he made it that way. I just don't know why that's a problem.
Because I want to focus on both ends. Because you guys always focus on women all the time and not on the other opposite side of the scale.
Okay.
I
Of
think
men.
I think that really though the issue
it's
here.
only fair to say I would also like to talk about men. That's fine. But I don't know why you would be offended if the conversation goes to generalizations about women, even absent
Because-
talking
No,
about
wait,
men. That
wait,
makes no
Can we
sense.
just?
Because
Can I
the
just say this though? I
generalization.
don't think that it's all just about like. I think it's the way he speaks about women
Tone,
in
please.
many contexts on the show
It's the tone?
that we've seen it before. So I feel like
That tone?
Yeah.
You don't like the tone?
No, it's not the
What
tone. Let's be real.
no,
But-
I mean. The tone is sometimes part of it. I just feel like it's just the way
The tone,
the
like-
things that he brings back, the way he counters. It's not a friendly debate. It's not a fun debate. Like it's very like targeted. It can get like low key kind of nasty. Like I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm just like this is just kind of facts of this show. Like so, there people
Hold on, I could just return.
people can feel uncomfortable by that. So.
Well, I mean, I could just,
Got the hiccups.
I could just turn. I don't know if you guys were talking about Andrew or me. I could just reverse this at you. You said cringe. You said disgusting. You also said that men who are attracted to women, who you pathologized men who are attracted to women with little or no body hair, calling them
that's
PDF files.
I said
essentially.
society. You're twisting my words again.
What does that-
You're like the 3rd
I'm not-
time.
And it still checks out. I'd say.
I said society.
She says it checks out.
But if
Yeah.
you're like
You think-
projecting
okay.
this
Well,
onto
hold on.
yourself, then
All
that's
right,
on
well,
you.
I actually had notes on this. So you think men
great,
who
let's run it
prefer
back
women
then.
who are like shaved down there, they're PDF files?
No, I don't think that all of them are, but I think there is a lot going on with that correlation of like.
Hey,
children,
you know what? That's totally fair. I just want to hear you say that homosexual men who prefer their partners to be shaved are correlated with PDF files. Go ahead.
Go ahead, say it.
Wait. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, but
older
go ahead
men
and say,
younger
because
women.
remember, we're talking about everybody, right? So homosexual men
Okay, so
Wait, hold on.
prefer that their male
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
partners are shaved.
Okay.
You're going to correlate them with PDF files just like you just did with straight men,
Well,
right?
if I'm using that in the context of saying that one of the partners is much younger and the other is much older.
No, they're the same age.
Hold on, that's
How
not
I'm
even the
viewing it.
conversation. Hold
Yes,
on,
it
stop.
is, because that's a part of it.
Hold on. A 35-year-old man dating a 35-year-old woman
Well,
could
that's
prefer
different.
his 35-year-old girlfriend to be shaved. So what? It has nothing to do with age. You're
I'm
shifting the
not
goalposts.
saying that it is always in that
You're-
or that it's always at
No,
the
but
age.
it has
I'm
nothing to do with
saying
age.
that the
It has
context
nothing.
of it.
No, a
Okay.
35-year-old man could want his 35-year-old girlfriend
That's true.
shaved. You're shifting the goalposts. It had nothing to do with age. It never did. We were talking
just
about
like-
body
you
hair.
just,
It
like,
has nothing to
that's
do with
what I'm
age.
trying
Yeah, but
to
it still
bring
could
it
be
back, and it's like you
subconscious
just, like,
though in your mind,
cut
just
things
because you're
off.
both.
Okay, so
30.
hold on. I have a question then.
You didn't even let me
I could just.
speak.
I mean, here's your. Okay, do you want to finish your
No.
thought? Okay, here's the logic. Women who aren't attracted. This is your argument. Women who aren't attracted to men with beards are PDF files. If you prefer your man clean shaven as a woman, you're a PDF file.
I never said
No, you're
that.
taking it to
No,
the
literally
extreme.
I know
putting-
that's
You're
not what.
taking
Hold
it
on.
to such an
I know that's not
extreme.
what you're saying. That's like the male version of this argument.
You're
I
not
don't think so.
trying to understand what I said.
Women who don't
You're
like
not
men
even
with
trying to
beards.
understand what I
Women
said.
who don't like men with beards are just PDF files. You like men who are clean shaven. Baby boys are clean. Can't grow facial hair. You are PDF files.
Here's the thing.
That can also
I said
be
it
a thing.
never
That's the
correlated,
logic.
so
That
it's
can
not
also be possible.
it's not causation versus correlation. It's completely different.
Okay, then
What?
what is it?
It's completely
and
different.
We're going to be quiet while you explain. What is
It's-
it?
It's society. It's a society. It's a broader thing. It doesn't mean you're consciously like actively a freaking pedophile. I never said that.
So,
And
so
she wasn't
I just want to
speaking
make sure.
about-
I just want to make sure, though, you do not associate the men being attracted to younger women who have all of their body hair shaved with any sort of PDF file. You don't make that association at all.
I said in a broader sense in society. That is the value, youth. That is the value.
But what's my question
I
to
said
you?
it's not a direct correlation.
I get it. I understand. What's my actual question to you, though? Can you repeat it back to me?
Do you associate the two as the same
Do
thing?
you in any way associate men who prefer women with zero body hair to be associated with men who are PDFs or not? You personally?
Do I personally? No. I'm
No.
saying society.
Okay, well
I said
then,
society.
and then going over to the gal in the white top, do you?
No, I think it's very
No.
subjective, and it has a lot of
so there's no problem with it, right?
no,
no
there's still a
problem
problem. Like,
What's the problem?
Well, okay. Well, what's the problem?
What is the problem with men preferring women to shave down there?
it's not that it's a problem. It's that it's,
You literally just said
No,
it's
she
a
was
problem.
talking about like the social construct of it and how there's like problems in our society with this kind of stuff. Like she's not,
Obsession
we're-
with youth.
yeah, like she's not trying to
You
make this
guys are
every man's
you
problem.
guys are
Like
trying
I thought
to
we
weasel
were.
out. You guys
That's
are trying
not
to
even true. Like I
weasel
thought we
out.
were.
you're
just
not
trying to
even
have a
trying to
full
understand what I'm
conversation.
saying
Okay, but
right
we're
now. You're
literally-
actively
okay, so
trying to be
here,
aggressive. You're
maybe
not
I can-
trying to understand
Maybe
it.
I can try to understand this a little better. Okay. If a man prefers a woman and likes a woman to shave down there, and prefers women who are not hairy, is that of the nature of being a PDF file?
It is it's in there. Yes.
That is
And would
an
you say that
outrageous
that is
statement.
also equally
It doesn't
true
make
of
you
Hang on.
a
hang
PDF file.
on. Would you say that that's also then true of homosexual men who like?
They can be PDF files too. I never said they couldn't.
Yeah, I know. But are you saying that that is also associated with homosexuals?
It
who have
depends
that
on what they
preference?
prefer. They might not prefer like shaven.
No, but if they
Bodies.
do prefer it, if they do prefer it, just like straight
It's
men,
the same
would you
answer.
associate that
Yeah,
with
it's the
PDF
same
file
answer,
activity?
Please, thank you. Move on.
Fun fact.
No, I really don't want to move on.
It's
I really
the
want
same
to. I really want an
answer.
actual
Like, what are you
answer
trying
to the question
like a
that I'm
gotcha
asking.
moment? Like it's literally the same answer each
Yeah,
time.
I know, but you don't really
Just like
answer.
he
you
said,
just
it's not
evade.
about gender, but suddenly it is. Like you're making it about it. So what are you trying to do here? You're like making it about homosexuals, and then
Well,
you're like, oh,
because
it's
I
not
don't
about that.
understand. I don't understand the distinction. If it applies to straight men, then it would also apply to homosexual men, right?
Can you just accept my answer as broader society?
I can
Thank
accept it if you
Goodbye.
answer my question.
I just answered it. Broader society.
Then broader society. So that's not really an answer. You're
trying to, like, get me in this, like, web
frustrating
of, like,
from my end is because I
answer that I'm
really
not
do
gonna
feel like
say.
I understand your position, and I'm going to repeat your position verbatim. Your position is there's a greater social push on men inside of the United States, the country you and I live in, for men to go after these beauty standards, which include women who are shaved in various places. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yes, look at the South. You can marry under the age.
How is that?
That is
relevant?
legal.
How is that relevant?
Okay.
Well, it
hang on.
correlates.
I'm willing. Hang on, I'm willing to
can
grant
mar-
all of this,
teenage
but I just want to
brides in the
hear you
South?
say that I understand your
teenage
argument
brides.
and am
18?
trying to understand
No,
your
under
argument.
18.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. What age?
Like 14.
What state?
I don't know,
Not
but I know it's a
Texas.
thing. They have the balls still, where you can go to a ball and like get a teenage bride.
What
That's
balls?
still a thing.
You see how far the termites have spread and how long and well they've dined.
So anyway, I'm just saying, I did repeat your argument back to you pretty much verbatim. I do understand your argument. You agree that that's true, right? And I am trying to understand what you're saying. You agree that that's true?
I don't. No. Let's just move
No,
on.
so I
'cause we're
can just
not-
repeat your argument back to you verbatim. You agree I repeated it back verbatim, but I'm still not trying to understand it?
No, you're not
No.
accepting my answer as society.
Well,
it's society.
because
Doesn't mean you're a
your
direct
answer-
pedophile. Like, why would I say
So,
that?
so this is
That's
where we're
insane.
deviating, because your answer makes no sense to me. I don't need to accept it as being true. That's why I am inquiring as to the answer. I understand the position. You agree I understand the position. What's wrong with me questioning the position if I don't agree with it?
Because you're mischaracterizing my whole position. You're literally putting.
Then why
words
did
in
you
my
just
mouth.
agree that I didn't?
No, I said. I never agree that you didn't. I literally
Okay.
said that.
Can I give you your position back again?
No.
No.
So you're just going to concede the argument?
Can we like ask another question or like?
Yeah, we can. I mean, I do actually. I have two more things on this. So the example I gave, where do adult women having a preference for men who are clean shaven, is that of the nature of women being PDF files?
No, I never said it correlated. It doesn't correlate like that.
For women, but it does correlate for men who
I never said
prefer...
it correlated.
Wait, but okay, so what do you mean correlate?
I said in society, it's like valuing youth. I never said it correlates directly to you being a PDF file. I never said that.
Okay, so let me talk on the individual level then. A man who is attracted or prefers a woman who shaves down there, has little or no body hair, is that of the nature of him perhaps being a PDF file?
It is valuing youth. It is in the nature of a pedophile because they value youth.
PDF,
is that not the definition of a pedophile? What's the definition of a pedophile? Let's read it.
PDF? Yo.
Say the word out loud.
Can you use PDF file?
Yes.
Okay,
keyword?
so let's use HEPA Would they be HEPA files?
I
What is
wouldn't
that?
go. I wouldn't. It's not worth going there. So, yes for men.
But isn't that the definition of?
So then, then it's the same for women too, who don't like men with beards.
I never said it correlated.
I feel like I don't know.
It doesn't directly correlate
I'm
in
sorry,
that way.
I'm
It's
just not really
wouldn't be
when you
the
say it doesn't
beard area.
correlate, but does it correlate
be
when
lower.
men prefer that in women?
I will say the same verbatim, same answer. I never said it correlated. I said society in a broader sense.
Okay, ignoring society.
But that's a correlate.
Ignoring society, though.
That's literally a correlate. It's like if I say society in a broader sense likes it when women wear pink, and you're like, there's no correlate there.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean? Of course there's a correlate there. That is a correlate.
No, it doesn't mean that if you value that thing that you automatically are that thing. It doesn't mean that.
That's not what I said. I didn't say that because you value a thing, you are that thing or not that thing. I'm saying that for you to say it's not a correlate because society's pushing it, that's literally a correlate. How could it be anything else? Like saying society pushes ice cream. And I go, well, a lot of people eat ice cream. That's a correlate. You're making a correlate, right?
Do we need?
not direct.
Should we get a
It's not
definition
direct.
of correlate?
Sure.
Maybe we need a definition of correlate. I don't know. I'm just confused. So do you object to
One
men?
thing doesn't make one thing
How
the
about
other.
this? Let me ask you a question.
Necessarily.
Let me ask you a question then. Let me frame it. I'm going to frame it. Hold on.
Correlation,
Wait.
a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things.
Okay, let me frame this a little differently. Do you object to men having a preference for women who are clean shaven?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm saying that's like what society values youth. I don't care.
Okay, I'm
don't wanna
gonna
say it,
move
but-
it on off of that. You also mentioned when I said something along the lines of I'm 35, something about dating 25-year-olds. You said that's cringe. Why is that cringe?
because the way you phrased it, you said
How did I phrase it?
I'd rather date someone who's 25 because they have less baggage. And I said saying that is super cringe.
Why is that cringe?
Because my question was like, why would that be the case?
Why would it be the
That
case
was
that
my
when when you having
If that's
lived less 10 years less, why would it be the case that you have less baggage?
But you said you've been through a lot of trauma too, right? So who
I've
would
been
want
through
to date
difficult
you the
things.
same way?
If a woman chooses to disqualify me because of either perceived or real baggage, I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care.
Men and women don't look at trauma the same.
Here's the difference. If, like, for most men, if a woman doesn't want to date them, like, we kind of accept it. Like, we accept, for example, that women prefer tall men. We accept that, right? But you can't seem to, for you would want to fight somebody on it. Like, oh, you don't want to date me because of this? Yeah, if a girl doesn't want to date me, she could not want to date me for any reason. I don't care. There's plenty of women out there. I'm not tripping. If specific women or groups of women don't want to date me they might not want to date me because of my hands, bro. I don't care.
I'm saying on the point that you're making, the exact point that you're making. You're saying that like,
yes, if a woman,
if someone is younger, they have less baggage.
Am I wrong?
Quote unquote baggage, which I hate that term. It's a weird term.
Why do you hate the term baggage?
Because it like someone said before, I don't know who it was, but like just because you've been through trauma doesn't mean you're still traumatized. Like you can be healed and like better from that,
right?
In a way that you weren't before.
What if you're not?
Yeah, what if you're not? Then you're not.
Okay. So would it be wrong for me to not want to date somebody who's who's still going through that?
No, not at all.
No, okay. I think we all actually agree on this. It's just kind of being misconstrued the way everyone's saying it. I 100% agree. If you don't want to date someone because you feel like they have like trauma that infringes on your relationship, I 100% agree on that.
Yeah, and it's fair game for women too.
You know, I feel the same
fair game for
way.
Women. You don't want to date a guy who's going through some shit.
100%. No one does.
Fair game.
That's wild. But we're just gonna like. That's 100%.
But why
true.
is it cringe? Why is it cringe?
So no,
because the way you phrased it, you said I'd rather date someone who's 25. The way you said it was cringe.
Maybe you mean someone in general that doesn't have that much baggage.
Yeah, that too. Like it was.
Well, I was giving you some reasons why, but
it could possibly be. Well, at least for me, it's just a generalized statement saying that generally, I understand though, it's true. When you're older, you go through things that can be traumatizing, but that doesn't inherently mean just because you're older, you have more baggage.
Not
on a
necessarily.
general sense. Yeah, not necessarily. But I think that's with me and you, that's the only thing that I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about anyone else's opinions here. I'm saying with that, but I agree with everything. I just wanted to clear that up with you so we were both on the same page.
Okay.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Are we going back on track now?
Yeah, we're gonna.
What should we talk about now?
Okay,
guys?
we weren't really off track. We were just trying to. So the whole point of this, if you make a claim, we just want to test the logic. I just want to know why it is you think what you think and why you think it. The same way when you say to Brian, "Hey, this is cringe," that's you saying, "Okay, I think this thing. I'm making this claim. I think that this is off-putting, or there's something about this which is bad." So he makes the inquiry, well, what about it is bad? Tell me what about it you find off-putting or disturbing or something like this. He's just trying to test the claim. I don't even see why anybody would be upset with this.
Okay. You don't see. Let's read all the comments and see. Like,
you don't
seriously,
I'm reading the comments, bro.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying on your videos that go viral, like, let's read the comments and see why people are upset in the way in which you present your point. You're like, I'd rather date someone who's 25. Like, why do you think people are pissed at you?
Wait.
Yeah, it's the tone. You're mad about the tone. So here's the thing.
No, it's the way he presents his point. I don't give a fuck. I love arguing. I will argue all day.
Wait, hold on.
You can get loud with me. I don't care. I love arguing.
If you love it, then why do you suck at it so bad?
Cool, I don't care. Goodbye.
It's emotion versus logic.
That's an honest question. So I love arguing. I'll make the claim I love arguing. I don't take any of it personally. I literally want to know why you think what you think and how you came to those conclusions. Because I don't suck at arguing, right? I actually want to know your worldview. I don't know if maybe my worldview is wrong. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I believe things that I shouldn't
believe. Maybe you are,
believe.
and you're just amazing at arguing. You'll never know because you'll never concede,
I would never
ever.
be able to determine that in a million years, though, if I can't get a contrary worldview from you, which is superior to my own. I can